Today we're going to start our very first pure geometry lesson, and this is going to be all about vocabulary. We're going to be talking about the definitions of points, lines, and planes. Now that we're starting geometry, it's going to be very important that you keep track of all your vocabulary, postulates, and theorems. So for today, we're going to have some vocabulary words. The first is undefined term, line, collinear, segment, ray, postulate, point, plane, coplanar, endpoint, and opposite rays. Make sure you write these down on a piece of paper, and you're going to have to keep track of all of your vocabulary, postulates, and theorems for the entire unit and for the entire semester, because as we do proofs, you will need to be able to reference back to them. The most basic figures in geometry are called undefined terms, which cannot be defined by using other figures. The undefined terms point, line, and plane are the building blocks of geometry. Go ahead and pause your video and write down all of your definitions from this page, as well as the diagram and how to label them. When we have a point, that's a location that has no sides. It is only represented by a dot. For the name, we use a capital letter. So point P would be capital P. And in a diagram, it would just be a dot with a capital P next to it. A line is a straight path that has no thickness and extends forever. A lowercase letter or 2 points on the line describe the line. Make sure when you draw the line above your 2 letters, it has arrows on both ends. If you do not have arrows on both ends, then it is not a line. It's either a line segment or a ray. So you need to make sure that there are arrows on both ends of that line above your letters. In a diagram, we see that we have 2 points, and they're lying on the same line, and there's an arrow at both ends of the line. A plane is a flat surface that has no thickness and extends forever. For a plane, we use a script capital letter. Script is the same as cursive, or 3 points not on the line. So you can have plane R, and that's a script R, or plane ABC, which is shown to the right, where you have A, B, and C all on the same flat surface, and we can also call that plane R using the script letter. Points that lie on the same line are called collinear. K, L, and M are collinear because they all lie on the same line. K, L, and N are non-collinear. That means that we cannot draw one line through K, L, and N because they are not collinear. Points that lie on the same plane are coplanar, otherwise they are non-coplanar. Looking at some more vocabulary, we have a segment or a line segment that is part of a line consisting of 2 points and all points between them. The 2 endpoints are used to describe the line, so it would be AB or BA with a line over the top with no arrows. So if you look at your diagram, we have A and B and the points connecting them. There are no arrows on either side of your line. An endpoint is the point at one end of a segment or the starting point of a ray. In order to describe an endpoint, we use a capital letter just like any other point, but in this case we're talking about the end of a line. So if you look at your line segment, either capital C or capital D could be your endpoint of that segment. A ray is part of a line that starts at an endpoint and extends forever in one direction. The endpoint has any other point on the ray. So if we look at the diagram, we have RS, and it's extending forever in one direction, towards S. And we use RS with a line over the top and an arrow pointing only in one direction. It is always pointing to the right, even if the picture of your ray is pointing to the left. Opposite rays are 2 rays that have a common endpoint and form a line. The common endpoint and any other point describe each ray. So if we look at our picture, we have ray EF and ray EG, which are opposite rays. They are 2 rays pointing in opposite directions, and together they form a line. A postulate is very important in geometry. This can also sometimes be called an axiom, and is a true statement that is accepted as true without proof. Postulates about points, lines, and planes help describe geometric properties. These are things that we just know intuitively, but we do not need to prove them. So our first postulate, 1, 1, 1, is that through any 2 points there is exactly one line. The second one, 1, 1, 2, is through any 3 non-collinear points there is exactly one plane containing them. So your 3 points have to be non-collinear. 1, 1, 3 says if 2 points lie on a plane, then the line containing those points lies on the plane. So if 2 points are in a plane, then the line that they share is also in the plane. Okay, take a minute to read through this slide. There's a lot of words on here, but basically it boils down to that where 2 lines intersect, that is the solution to a system. And there is only one point where 2 lines intersect. They cannot intersect in more than one point. So here are our postulates that go with that. For 1, 1, 4, if 2 lines intersect, they intersect in exactly one point. They can't be more and they can't be less. For 1, 1, 5, if 2 planes intersect, they intersect in one line. So we want to make sure that anytime that we're drawing a picture and we can't see part of the picture, we're going to use a dashed line to show what we can't see. So make sure you have all of your definitions and postulates written down, and we'll go over them and do examples tomorrow in class.